Are your guys' YouTube channels safe from being deleted?
Oh, new topic.
Oh.
Goodbye to these. Here we go. So this is obviously coming up, and you're going to push this video, right? Like this will go.
Oh, yeah.
sooner.
This one will be the one that goes.
So Retro Rick, for anybody who doesn't know, one of my best buddies in the world, channel got hacked. You know, big time. It got hacked. It's currently, at the time of filming this, it's called MicroStrategy.
No, it's back.
He was supposed to get back tomorrow, but it's back now.
It's I found it today.
Okay,
As
so he's
Retro
back.
Rick, he's back.
Okay, he's back. Yeah, it was supposed to change tomorrow. They originally told him it'd be the date, which is tomorrow, which doesn't matter to them.
And
but.
we are pushing this video out a little bit sooner. So, guys, Mort's Garage is here. So shout them out.
Oh,
dude.
yeah. For our audience, we're putting this video sooner than the whole podcast because it makes sense because of the timing.
Yeah,
Yes.
good.
Retro Rick, long term, got deleted.
Yeah.
Crazy story. Go check out Retro Rick's channel if you want to see some updates on how it happened, what happened.
Little clickbaity though. Okay, little clickbaity on that one.
Smart man.
I'm just joking. I'm joking. I mean,
what-
it's
Hey,
fine.
wait, pause.
Yeah, I do
Pause.
the same thing.
Pause.
I'm just saying.
Did you watch?
Of course not.
There you go. Oh, it's liar. Mission accomplished. But basically, I'm very curious as like creators, you know, you're a creator, you have your own store, you know, Ricky, you're on our channel. The podcast is a whole nother channel.
Mhm.
Like, I feel like the answer is no, like nobody's safe really from getting hacked. It's a crazy world that's ever evolving. I'm sure AI is going to be used to do it. But like,
100%.
where does your heart go? You get hacked, say we got hacked, and say it's gone.
Mhm.
Say the Retro Rick story was gone, terminated. You're not recovered. Do you think as like content creators and what we do, I don't even know if I like that word, but whatever. Like, do we rebuild? Or is it like such an exhaustion to feel that weight of starting over? Your stores
What
get
would you
taken
do?
over.
Pixel Game Squad gets deleted. 115,000 subscribers gone. What do you do next?
Switch the podcast channel.
No, I wouldn't do that.
We kind of already did it, though. If you think about it, Retro Liberty.
Yeah.
It was much smaller though. That back then,
Yeah, that's true.
40,000 subscribers we had
It
on
was
our
40,
original
right?
channel.
Yeah, it was like 40.
It's just such a different time on YouTube that I would probably redo it again. I would redo it again, but I don't know if I'd have the mental capacity to put what I do in right now.
Mhm.
I think it'd almost go like vloggy style of collecting for the NES set, because I don't know if my brain has the mental wherewithal to kind of go through it again, just because I know how much time, effort, energy, sponsors, I mean, all this stuff, every little piece that fits in, and having editors working on thumbnails nonstop, like everything's such a
It's a
time
machine.
consumption. It
Yeah.
really is a machine
Yeah.
that it's almost like my brain would be like, I'm going to restart because I love doing it, because I'm going to be going anyway. Like we just said, we're going to still be going to the swamp meet,
Yeah.
but I don't know if I do it the same way. I might take it a step easier, especially because, I mean, let's be honest, as content creators, we've seen those thumbnails pop in from the channels about IQ and strategy on YouTube, and it seems like retention editing is kind of going away, and
It
it might
is.
be going to more just storytelling,
Yep.
and letting videos be without needing to be with crazy things happening.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I would be very sad. I think part of it is how much of YouTube is creatively. It's so interesting. It's not TV, and it's not films. It's YouTube. It's its own different way of doing things. There's a more personal element into it, and for that reason, personally, it would be different than like if your show got canceled because like you were finished a story arc, or there wasn't enough reason to keep it going or whatever. And, there's a part of you that would be sad about everything that's behind it being gone. But ultimately, I think part of who you are is you would come back roaring, I think, like with a new channel, because ultimately people just want to see what you're up to. And how many subscribers do channels have that are, dead subscribers, in the sense of they
Huge.
subscribed a long time ago. They don't
Huge.
really care. Or maybe they lost their own password to their YouTube channel, so they don't watch your uploads, whatever. There's, I think, so many different reasons why it would be interesting to restart, and then also restarting an algorithm, and the algorithm so fine tunes to finding your audience that if you started fresh, I wonder if you'd attract a different audience,
Retro
or if
Rick's
everyone
Game
would come
Point.
back. So Retro Rick's Game Point.
Look at
That's
that as an example. He went
Yeah.
over there and has been crushing it.
Yeah.
Is the word. Crushing it with minimal effort. I mean, literal minimal effort and crushing it.
But it leads to the question of like, what are people watching when they watch our channels? What's the audience coming to your channel for? And it's because ultimately it's not because of your cool editing. It's because of you and Ricky and everybody in this room that's a part of Pixel Game Squad and Pixel Plus. And I think that at some point they would just miss seeing you, regularly. But I think for me personally, as someone who's creating content, I think there's a part of me, of my heart, that's in that. I've done what I can to archive everything. I have like my videos, backed up in other places and stuff. But ultimately, nothing is ever safe, and nothing is permanent. Not your retro video games, not your YouTube channels.
Yeah.
Going back to what we were saying earlier about accruing, sneak preview for those of you that need to keep tuning in. Again, what are you accruing, and what is the longest lasting parts of what you accrue, I think is the real question.
I think the hardest part would be to just feel like you lose the community, right? Because like our channel, I feel like is so based within community, again, being what we do, it's out in the physical world, right? We're not like a review channel where we're sitting at a table. It's so like, I'd feel like, oh, like we just lost so many people that we've like there's so many comments that I couldn't even tell you their name. Yeah. But if I saw it, I'd be like, oh yeah, dude, that guy comments all the time.
Yes.
You just feel like you know those people. So I feel like I would feel crushed trying to rebuild it. But I think you're right about that, and that's also a YouTube tip for people. I was meeting with the guy we bought the Ninja Turtle ramp from, Tyler, our buddy Tyler, OC Ramps. They're trying to help, bust up their YouTube channel. And they're like, what are we doing? How can we help? And my first advice to them, I said, make them fall in love with you guys.
Yes.
That's the first thing I said. Don't let your audience, they don't need to fall in love with ramps. They need to fall in love with you guys. It doesn't matter what you guys are doing, that you guys are, and it's not that like, their question was like, well, do I need to be like really funny and entertaining? I'm like, no.
Just be yourself.
On our show, there's the quiet one, Ricky. There's me, who's the loud and annoying one. There's Curtis, who helps us with everything. There's Ben, who's like the quiet guy, but knows everything and has a secret storage. Chris, who has a weird sickness of scalping, along with Ben.
But that's interesting. If everyone came on and acted, that you have to have some presentation elements to the way that you talk and articulate.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's people that I watch on YouTube because they're so anti that as well.
Totally.
That are just so dry and flat, but they're just interesting with what they have to say to me and what I'm interested in. And that's what I love about YouTube, is that it is, there are millions of videos, quite literally, that get uploaded every single day. And so finding what to watch when there's literally millions of brand new options every day, you being yourself will probably go pretty far.
Yes.
And you will find that audience eventually. Yeah. But you do have to have the skill set. You do have to know how to edit and tell a story and stuff and everything. But it doesn't have to be quick hypercut edits and all that. It's just being yourself truly does go really far. I think.
Chris, your store, some legal thing happens. Hey, all of your stores, they have to shut down. I'm so sorry. You can rebuild if you want, but all these stores have to get terminated within the month. What is your next?
Oh man, I've actually thought about that before. Like if that was to happen, there's so much time that went into building my stores, and time into building your guys' channels too. I mean, all the editing that you've done, all the going out there, everything. So the time aspect is such a big part of it. Yeah. I would feel devastated. And when Rick, I talked to Rick too, and we were messaging, and he told me about it, and I just felt for him right away. I was like, dang man, that is horrible. Because this was like a few days ago. Then he didn't know if he was going to get it back. Yeah. So I just felt that like what he must have felt is just a gut wrenching loss. And I have thought about that with my stores. I don't know if I would rebuild them just because of the time and the effort and everything. I might just want to like completely switch gears at that point.
What would that be?
I have no idea.
Buy out more expos, baby.
I mean, expos are fun. I do like expos. Maybe switch to just expo.
I've got a great idea. What you could do is you could buy a bunch of one particular game, drive the market up a little bit.
Rollerblade racing
corner.
It would be really, really tough. That's a tough choice. And I wonder what Rick was thinking, what he would have done. I
was talking to him. Obviously, I'm his editor. I've talked to him every 5 seconds. He literally texted me 3 times during the podcast already. Yeah. So he was updating me everything. He was very worried, but also very hopeful, but still a lot of emotions running. I mean, last night we were on literally just a Zoom call with me and him, just chatting. It wasn't even any specific reason. And he said when he found out they actually recovered his channel and got it back this time, he said he was physically tearing up and like crying.
I would too.
Because it was so much into it. And he's built so much. And again, a lot of people, may not understand, and maybe you do as a person, when you build something so big, it's not like it's just Retro Games Plus. It's not just Mort's
Your heart's on it.
It's not just Pixel Game Squad. You've built a community. We got an expo because of that. We have been part of this. We go to conventions because of it. I sell on Whatnot because I'm able to do this.
Yep.
I support my family because of certain things and jobs that I've got at editing because of YouTube. It's a resume for me. There's so much more that goes into the ecosystem of what we all do.
I also use the term it's your life's work is what I look at as. Like the stores for me, and this took me a long time to accept this, like I didn't appreciate what they meant to me early on. I do now. I'm like, oh, this is what I did with my life. Like at some point I'm going to look back, and your guys' YouTube channels and your YouTube channel, you might do other stuff too, but like whatever that piece is, and for Rick, his channel of course is a big part of his life's work.
It's such a time capsule too.
Yeah, it's again the time and the people you meet and everything. So to have that like just turned off for Rick like that, like at least with my stores would probably be a slow death maybe, but like to be gone like that has got to be just like, ugh, I can't even imagine what that feels
Someone even
like.
made a comment. They said, Riff's just jealous of the channel, so he probably hacked it, right? And I was like, that doesn't only just affect Riff, like that's also a family income of his as well, not only a friend.
Yeah, Rick mentioned that in his videos. He's like, he didn't say my name particularly. I was obviously talking about me and others. He's like, this is a part of other people's livelihood.
Yeah,
people who work at his stores and people that I edit for him. That's part of my income. I mean, Rick always makes jokes. Sometimes he's like, when he pays me, I'll be honest. Sometimes he's like, here you go, man. Tell your kids they're welcome for private school. But it's, it's a joke.
Here's $50.
It is. Yeah.
I was just picturing Riff with like a Russian accent. He's like all dressed like Russian.
Like
doing the videos.
The Tropic Thunder. He's the Tom Cruise. He's just on the other side of the line. Yeah, but I think what was great about it was I guarantee you, every single one of us reached out to him and we're just praying for him and like
totally was. Yeah, absolutely.
To have that core group is insane.
And I didn't know what to say to him. I was just like, man, Rick, I am so sorry. Like, there's nothing we can do, right?
Yeah, there really
is.
I can't do anything. You can help him by some YouTube stuff or tweeting YouTube, but in reality, the best thing to do is just support the guy.
Just support.
Like,
now, did he give you any advice on like how you could protect your channel?
Absolutely.
Or any channels out
there? Obviously two-factor authentication, which he did have on. Yeah. There's certain things that are going to come into play that are just going to feel impossible. But me, Caleb, Rick all now own these actual physical keys that you cannot sign into our YouTube unless you are physically have one on you. Really? So I ordered 4 of them. So I'm going to be giving one to a few of these guys in here, keep one in a safe.
Dude, you guys show me how to do that.
And you have to have it physically on you to log in, or it will. There's no other way around.
Awesome.
That's really cool.
But which is scary because you can't buy. I originally bought one, and Rick's like, "Do not activate it." What if you drop it tonight?
Yeah,
and it breaks. Like you are screwed.
Dang.
So that's why I bought multiple. I have one in a safe box. Have a couple burner ones you need just in case. But you can't make it to Russia with one.
What if you did a Pixel game? What if you did a Pixel Game Squad giveaway where you gave it to somebody in like some kind of a thing?
That we'll host that on Mort's channel. We'll give away his channel.
You got a couple of fun spiders up there above your head, just so you know.
Oh, I like them.
Just chilling.
Those are some fun ones.
It's all right. They sneak in every once in a while.
He's coming. Should I get him?
Eat him.
I kind of like him. Nah, he's trying to hide. If he comes down more, will you let me know?
Yeah.
What I've realized over the years of owning my stores, and it's gotten worse actually more recently, is like I feel that you are always kind of getting attacked from a lot of different angles, not in a good way. And I'm not talking like customers maybe with bad reviews or something. I mean like straight scammers, and I would throw thieves into the mix of that too. Thieves are a little bit more like upfront stealing from you, but I most recently even had like just in the last year I had we write checks from when we do trades, which is pretty prone to stuff happening, but I've done it for 10 plus years. I had somebody straight up like fraudulently just writing Retro Games Plus checks for a total of about $7,000.
Wow.
Then I had another employee that I just found out. Blake. It was Blake.
That's where he gets all that shirt money.
I had another employee that I found out just doing my taxes was stealing like $4,000 or $5,000. Of course, there's thieves.
Wow. That
so it's like it's just kind of like just. And it is just a course of business. I mean, it is what it is. I take it just as it is, whatever. But it just kind of sucks. You're in the scamming of Retro Rick's channel. Like you're getting kind of attacked.
My wife and I were talking the other night. It's like, what? I don't understand the mindset of I'm going to earn my living and feed my family by stealing from people, like as a living, right? I know we all sin and we all make mistakes and maybe have stolen, so they're all horrible. But it's like, no, I'm going to choose that life to physically ruin people's livelihood.
That's what makes
such a weird concept.
That's what makes it, I think, so fascinating, is because that person we have empathy, and a lot of people who do that, there might be circumstances where it's like, dude, I just need bread for my kids, and I don't mind stealing bread from the grocery store, and that's where they're coming from. But then there's people who are just like, I'm just going to steal because I'm going to steal, and they literally don't have those things that would make you go, why would you do that inside of them for whatever reason?
Morals.
Yeah.
Morals. I was actually talking about that with Blake today too. Like, just he's a young entrepreneur starting up. He works for me, but he does a lot of stuff on the side. And he was telling me about an incident. I won't go into details of it. And I said to him, I said, listen, I just want to let you know, you make a decision now what type of businessman you want to be. You either want to be a morally like good businessman where you have, a straight compass, where you're not ripping people off and you're not screwing them in any capacity. People you don't know too, and just make that decision now. You're young. And I think we've all kind of made that decision. You're not like, we're not out to get anybody. You're not out to rip people off. But unfortunately, some people don't have a good compass. And I think once you start scamming people, it just like becomes, that's what you do, I guess. I don't know.
Any short-term reward I've not yet in my lifetime found the long-term reward of being honorable has always beaten any short-term reward of being.
It always will.
Agreed.
Always.
Yeah.
And whether you believe in karma or not, I don't know, but I do believe in like, if you're always doing good, you'll sleep good at night. You carry those like being kind of a crummy person on your shoulders. I think if you're ripping people off and stuff,
you reap what you sow.
Yeah. Yeah. So just be a good person.
I would say that you guys being like Rick and Riff have like very unique way about going about things, because you put a lot of trust into people knowing like your account information on a lot of things, and that is kind of specific. I don't know about you, Mort. Like, I don't know how many people would know or access your information, but it's one of those things that just feels like everybody's vulnerable at one point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're all vulnerable. I mean, especially if you're running a business, there's so much vulnerability in it because, we hire out bookkeepers and finance people and financial advisors and accountants, and all these people need information and they need your passwords and all that stuff.
Thieves are usually smart. I mean, like, predators look for prey. They don't look for like hard targets. They look for easy targets. And when you get really busy and there's a lot of pans on the fire, then they went away. There's a lot. It's on like your shoulder, but there's but when there's a lot of pans on the fire, it's hard to keep track of all that, which is why it's such a big deal. One, to be honorable, and then to find honorable people that are on your team. Like, you can't put money value on that.
Yeah, and and I feel like we curate that type of stuff even outside of business, like even in like the swap meets, like right. It's something so simple, but it's like we've kind of found like our crew and our people that swap meet of people we can trust and people we can buy from and people we can hang out with and go break bread with after and go hang out with. It's like it's nice to find those people and kind of lock them in your life. You're like, hey, you're someone I can truly trust with. Even you gave me some stuff there. Like, hey, will you sell this for me and let me know? And, you take a little percent. It's like, we have earned that trust from each other. Like, yes, I will take care of it from you. I'll make sure you get your share. I do it right. I do it honorably. Make sure you feel good, So it's nice to know those relationships like form,
Yeah, the trust is so important. Like, people ask me how I run stores in Connecticut, like 3,000 miles away, like my stores are there. And I'm like, well, I have really good people that I trust. Yep. They've worked for me for 8 years or so. Like, I have to fully trust them. Like, they have access to all the cash, they could do whatever.
And you'll weed out the ones who don't.
Yeah, and like I said, I had one employee that was not, but I never even met the guy, so he turned out to be bad. But with friends and stuff too, like, it's a complete trust. Like, there's always situations where you could do stuff, right? Like, you could turn your back and I'm like, oh yeah, I want that NES game over there and it's down my pants. Totally. But like, once you do it, then the trust is broken.
Absolutely.
So just don't ever cross the line. Once you do it once, then it's over. Yeah, you can't do that to friends.
That's what we tell my kids if they make mistakes and stuff. Say, we love you, we forgive you, but you have to earn back the trust, and that's not something you can do in a night. You have to be willing to change and do better. So yeah.